Sound time. 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 So I thought, in the middle of an ASL match, count time. I looked around and I knew there was something I lacked. Count time. My mind raced and I thought, what could I do? Count time. And I knew a name counter. I need one too. Count time. One with my name. I figured out getting one's tough. Tore me apart. I've been counter-struck. Well, maybe someday, not forget it, but then this went down. Went to the Texas team turning, I saw me some. They had counters, counter sheets with attendees and names. They are so cool, they're all 9-2s. Yeah, they blew my mind. And I was shaking at the knees. I just could not believe what an amazing find. I've been counter-struck. I was shaking at the knees. There was a counter of me.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Two Half Squads.
Episode 371. And today we have an interview.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to be interviewing with Alan Hume from Scotland. And I'd like to apologize in advance if I start speaking in a funny accent. Not a funny accent, but a Scottish accent.
A bad accent.
A bad accent, I'm sure. But I remember when Robin and I went to England, I pick up on accents. And so, by the fourth day we were there, I get in the car and go, "Oh, oi, mate, can you take us around the Queen's Place, say?" Something like that. And she poked me in the ribs. Stop doing that. I can't help it. So I hope I don't pick up.
Yeah, I've done that a little with the Southern accents too.
Y'all do?
South.
Do y'all do that?
In Missouri.
Yes, in Missouri, just doing that.
Yep, Grandma's Farm down there.
Yeah. So we'll have Alan on in just a moment.
Yep. Let's go to it.
And here we are with Alan Hume.
Alan Hume.
Hey guys.
His audio, his picture's not coming in today. So you people
It's
watching
a new
on
computer, but it doesn't want to play.
So you'll have to picture his face in your mind. It's sort of let's see, who would we say
he looks like Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, exactly. Yes,
Scottish.
exactly.
You're
Yes.
not missing much, though. You're missing me sitting here with my Oakland Raiders baseball cap on, which I've got to wear. It's mandatory.
As we are. As we are as well. Well, this is quite a pleasure talking to you, Alan. We've been,
It's nice to speak to you guys after all these years.
yeah, it's really, you've been a loyal listener, I know, and
And number one emailer.
number one
Thanks.
emailer for sure.
Oh,
We
I like
always-
my emails, I must
yeah,
admit.
we
I'm
always
notorious for
enjoy.
sending emails.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little, maybe tell us a little about yourself and why we're listening, why we're even talking to you.
Sure, yeah. Well, I've been a lifelong gamer ever since I was growing up in the 70s, playing family games with my family, Monopoly, Alley Cats, card games, you name it. And then it must have been about primary 7 when I was 10 or 11 that one of the guys in my class said, "Have you ever heard of this thing called the Lord of the Rings?" I'm like, "The Lord of the Rings? Ice skating? What's that all about?" And he was like, "No, no, no, no. The Lord of the Rings." I says, "No, I must admit I haven't." And he had a videotape of the Ralph Bakshi movie, and he lent it to me. And he says, "If you like this, I've got this game you might like." And there it was, my first introduction to Dungeons and Dragons. And then that was it for many, many years afterwards. I was riveted. I mean, we just played Dungeons and Dragons for years. My brother was a dungeon master for a while till he gave it up to go back into his comic book collecting hobby. But yeah, me and the guys I grew up with, we all basically grew up on Dungeons and Dragons and Twilight 2000 and Traveller and all
Yeah.
yeah, and I know my friend's big brother that lived in the church because his dad was the rector at the local church. So we had to run in the church at weekends, which was great. We set up a massive game of Car Wars once using all the tables in the church hall. It just went down the length of the hall. It was awesome. But yeah, I mean, we'd all play that. I say, Scott's older brother George had a copy of this box that said Cross of Iron on the side. And it was like, "Oh, what's that? Cross of Iron? I don't know what that is." So I looked at that and I became aware of Squad Leader. And our local game store, run by Donald Brocci, God rest his soul, was the games gallery in town. And they had all the Squad Leader stuff. But I mean, back then, games were expensive. So, we didn't have much beyond our pocket money at the time. So basically, everything I had was going to support my D&D habits. So I didn't really get into Squad Leader at the time. Although, as I say, down through the years, I've been aware of it. It was probably only around 2009 when my good friend Rod Lobham from the South East Scotland War Games Club, the local club, he said, "Check this out." We went round to his house and he had ASL set up, one of the introductory scenarios. And he said, "I think you might like this." And he showed me how to play and we started playing and then we took it from there. What is it? 15, 16 years later, I'm still going strong. Quite addicted to the product, I must admit. Whenever MMP brings out a new item, it's like, "Oh, I must buy that." It's like, who cares about the budget? Tally ho, buy that. But yeah, so I mean, ASL is relatively new to me in my gaming life because basically, as I say, I came up from Monopoly and basic card games and Pontoon and Scrabble, all the rest of it. Discovered Dungeons and Dragons. Went to the local games club, SAGE, Scottish Association of Gamers Edinburgh, run by the Games Gallery and Donald Brocci. Went there for a couple of years. Carried on playing. At some point, I ended up in the army, very briefly. But luckily, I only ever pushed paper for them, so I was never a real soldier. I was down to 24 hours notice to move to go to Bosnia, but that never happened because I was posted out of the unit just before we went. So I ended up in 12 Regiment Royal Artillery for my last term in the army, as for whatever reason I gave him a notice. So that was about 5 years. Yeah. Then I came back, pottered about for a bit, and I've really been working for the art galleries in town ever since as a security guard, and I'm quite happy with that.
Okay.
Apart from dealing with the public all the time, of course.
Yes, right.
They can be a problem sometimes, can't they?
So
Oh, yeah.
do you still get to play Dungeons and Dragons with your
Well, my
friends?
friend Magnus that I grew up with, he lives down in Wales now with his family.
Mm.
He's always trying to get an online game going, and we've played a couple of times online. So I'd say, in as much as we do the online gaming now and again, that's about all the Dungeons and Dragons that I get. But it's fun, it's good,
Yeah.
it's okay. But I'd say I'm really trying to trim down my gaming, I must admit. I used to be big into miniature games, big on World War II 15mm.
Oh, yeah.
I went overboard with that. I had armies for everything. Romanians, Hungarians, Italians, Japanese, you name it. But the guys put their foot down and they went, "This is ridiculous, Alan. You've got no space. I live in a tiny apartment."
Oh.
So it's like I had boxes and boxes everywhere. And the guys just went, "You're selling this." I was like, "Okay." So I sold my World War II miniatures collection. And all I've got left now in terms of miniatures is a 20mm collection of World War II US Army stuff. That was kind of like my favorite, the US Army. I thought that's really cool. It's got a sort of Clint Eastwood vibe to it.
Yeah.
That was the one that appealed to me most. So I've kept that. And that's really it for miniatures. I mean, Rod's always getting into new games, and he's always telling me, "There's this new game just came out. You want to try this and you want to try that." But I'm just packing up a few games. My Heroes of Normandy kit, that was a good game. I'm just packing that up to give to Rod to get a friend to sell for me on eBay because, being honest, I don't have the space for the games and the World War II books that I'm collecting. So the Heroes of Normandy stuff's going to go, and the World War II books are going to get up off the floor. So yeah, that's kind of my priority at the minute.
What rule set were you using with your 15mm World War II?
Yeah, well, okay, a couple really. 15mm. It's going back a while. I think there was Battlefront was a game in itself. We used that, which was quite good, and we played Flames of War as well because everybody was playing Flames of War.
Right.
I mean, that's a fun game. It's got its problems, but it's a fun game. I mean, it's kind of like the Games Workshop of World War II, really.
Right.
But they did some really cool models. I mean, I must admit, I was a huge fan when I was collecting the miniatures. They made some wonderful stuff, and they basically covered the whole war. I think now they've got everything you could probably ask for, so it's great. But yeah, I mean, Battlefront, it was kind of like had a brown cover and a photograph on the front. It was like kind of Saving Private Ryan with the bridge and all the rest of it. That was one of the rules we used. That was a good set. But as I say, I haven't actually been to the Games Club in a long time. I'm overdue going back, but it's just been getting kind of difficult for me because if I take the bus, it's the other side of town. It's a 2-bus trip and it takes an hour to get there and back.
Oh.
I mean, I could drive, but I don't like driving in Edinburgh traffic when I don't have to be honest. I drive to work and back, and that's about as much as I want to do, to be honest, because the city traffic here is just crazy now, and the roads are potholes everywhere. It's just not fun anymore,
Yeah.
I don't know what driving's like in Chicago, but
do they still do the tattoo at the castle?
oh yeah, it's on just now. Yeah. We're having fly pass. They had the Red Arrows flew past the other night.
Yeah, I don't remember if I've told the story. I'll jump in briefly.
Yeah.
Laura and I went touring with a group, and then we ended up at the tattoo, right, where they're playing the bagpipe bands and everything.
Yeah.
And we're in stands. Now, this was pre 9/11, so I was not used to being searched.
Yeah.
For weapons, but it was because of the IRA, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's always been a thing.
So the security, I'm like, oh man, they're checking for bombs and stuff. This is crazy. Now, of course, I'm used to it everywhere I go, but because I live in America. But we sat in the stands, and I was looking to the right, and I heard this explosion. And in my mind, I thought, oh, the stands are going to blow up if they fall this way. Laura will fall on top of me, and we maybe can survive and roll. I know the exit's over there, and how we're going to get out of this horrible situation. And then everyone started applauding, and I looked around. And I realized they shot off the cannons on the castle top to start the tattoo, the performance. and I look at Laura, and she's just clapping and looking, and I'm like, ah. And I look to the guy to my right. He's with our tour group, and he looks at me, and he was the same as me. He's going, oh, and I go, oh, did you think too it was a bomb? He's like, oh yeah, I thought it was a bomb. We both
they do that every day. They have the
Oh.
1 o'clock gun here every day. They fire one of the field artillery pieces off at exactly 1 p.m. every day.
Every day.
So
Okay.
many tourists get caught out walking along Princess Street below the castle. It's
Oh my
like,
God.
boom, and you're like, what?
Duck,
Like, yeah.
duck. Yeah.
So anyway, just a little
Yeah,
side
yeah.
story there. It's one of my favorite
Cool.
stories because the brain, you're thinking. And I couldn't believe how quickly I was thinking of emergency reactions. I'm going to fall
You were
this
on the
way and go
ball.
that way, and we got to get Laura
You
out
were
of
on
here.
the ball.
But
Did
so
you
yeah.
enjoy the tattoo?
Oh yes, yeah, all of it. Yep.
Tell us about what that is.
Well, it's basically Scotland's military heritage and the world's military heritage on show. Oft times you'll get things like the Royal Corps of Signals, motorbike riders, the white helmets, they'll come out and do a display, or you'll get a Commonwealth band coming out and playing, as well as the Scottish Regiments bands and all the rest of it. I mean, it's the Royal Regiment of Scotland now, so it's very different to when I was a child, because when I was a child, my local regiment was the Royal Scots, which is why I'm so keen on writing scenarios for them. They were just up the road at Collington, but they've all been amalgamated, absorbed. So now it's the Royal Regiment of Scotland, and basically they pay lip service to the regiments of old, but they have companies named after them and so forth. But they've really gone. You'll still meet veterans around the town, though, of course. So I mean, that's something. I mean, it's a strong military town, Edinburgh, because, as I say, the castle itself is basically a barracks. It's a military post. So, and we've got the Redford barracks up at Collington Road, and then further out we've got Dreghorn barracks. So there's a lot of military activity in the area. I mean, when I was young, you used to see the military trucks going along Collington Road all the time. I mean, I haven't seen so much recently, but yeah, it's quite a lot going on in the recruitment centre in town and all the rest of it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Now, you just mentioned your scenario designs. You want to tell us about those?
Yeah, sure. Well, I try my best, I wouldn't say I'm a great or even a good designer, but I'm enthusiastic. I'm very enthusiastic, and I keep trying. I mean, I don't actually have all that many designs published as yet, but I've got a lot that have been submitted. I've got, as I say, all my Royal Scots scenarios ended up. I was originally went with Pete, and we were going to publish them with View from the Trenches, but we couldn't get play testers, so that fell through. So Pete said, send them to MMP. So I did. I sent them to MMP a couple of years ago, and while Chaz Argent's been great, he's been keeping in touch and saying, this is going on, that's going on. They basically said to me the other month, well, scenarios aren't really our priority at the moment. We're working on the historical modules. So if you want to take them back and try your luck with some other publisher, feel free. And I was like, no, I mean, my goal, my dream is to get at least one published by MMP. So I said, just keep them and see what happens,
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, but I'm hoping that in the next issue of Dispatches from the Bunker, I think that's number 60, I might have a scenario published by Vic Provost. I've got a scenario called Terrible Trouble at Tecklenburg, Germany at the end of the war, which features German civilians of all things fighting against the British. So that should hopefully get published by Victor. And Pete's got one in the works at the moment that me and my good friend John Martin have been working on. So hopefully that will go out at some point. And of course, there's a project I can't talk about, the top secret project for next year, where one of the big third-party producers has got to publish a scenario pack. I've submitted 3 designs for this project, but only one's been accepted so far, going through playtests. So I struck out twice, but it's okay. One's in reserve, so we'll see what happens. But as I say, I wish I could talk about that, but I've been sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sworn to secrecy.
I love your enthusiasm, and I've always been curious about the creative process and how different people approach this. So how do you design a scenario? Does something just pop into your head, or do you pick a historical event that you then want to translate, or do you more pick like, I'd like to see a scenario that contains these particular properties, and go from there, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, I know. For many people, I mean, if you look at Game Squad, where I've got a recent post up basically asking people, their feelings on such matters, and a lot of people say, well, at first I come up with the idea of the type of battle I'd like to design to fight, and maybe the actual historical battle, and so on and so forth. But I'll be honest, everything I've ever designed, I've always taken it from something that's jumped out of a book at me. I spent a lot of time reading books. I mean, for these scenarios, you can spend hours and hours. It can be really frustrating because you can spend hours and hours reading a book and get nothing at all that's usable. But other times you can get several ideas that you can turn into scenarios. I mean, basically, that's my design approach. Is I'll grab a book on, say, a Scottish regiment. That seems to be my main interest. Um, you're lucky if you can get a second-hand one quite cheap. Regimental histories tend to be really expensive for some reason, just as books on the German army seem to be very expensive for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it just seems to be a fact of life. But I've managed to get a few Scottish regimental histories fairly cheap off eBay. So I've got a few books on Scottish regiments, which I've been going through, trying to find an action that I can turn into a scenario. And oftentimes you'll find something. As I say, sometimes I'll think about a battle such as the Battle of the Bulge and go, that'd be great to write something about the Battle of the Bulge. And I'll see who was there and like the 101st Airborne or whatnot, and look up their history book and see if there's something for the Bulge I could use. But not often, as I say, normally I just read books, and if something jumps out, then I'll run with that. It's not really as complicated as everyone else does it, but it works for me.
Yeah. But I would imagine that you gravitate toward topics that or interest you, and in particular, like you said, Scottish regiments.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Particular types of armor or particular types of engagements.
Well, I got to admit, as Pete Phillips from View from the Trenches will tell you, late war's really my thing. I mean, I know Ollie Gray is really into early war, but for me, it's late war I'm interested in, to be honest. So it would be late war vehicles, the big cats, all the rest of it.
Right.
I'm pretty predictable. Yeah, late war for sure, especially late war in Germany. That just seems to be really interesting to me. A couple of years ago, I was captivated by the Italian front, but I seem to have drifted more into reading about Germany these days.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, fascinating.
I don't think's really been portrayed well in ASL so far, in the sense is there's not really that many maps that are suitable for portraying the terrain in Italy perfectly. I mean, they make an attempt. I think there's some that are close, but I don't think there's ever been any made perfectly suited for it. Just as I know Mark Pitcavage was saying on the forums, well, it's probably a while ago now, but he was always been saying that there should be maps properly representing the Russian villages where they're all lined up down one side of the road kind of thing, historically. And there's not really anything like that in the collection of maps we have at the moment. Much as we've got plenty of maps, there's nothing like that. So there's scope for MMP to bring out, or indeed third party, to bring out more maps. As I say, I know a lot of people are against that though, because they feel we've got enough already, and there is an awful lot, I must admit. But there's some things that could be done better, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if I briefly look at all the maps I've got, I think, wow, after a while they kind of all look alike. Not all of them. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but I think there's like you say, there's room for other maps to like exactly the way you were positioning those. So
yeah, I mean, I store mine in some of these really I've got the guys put me onto these really useful boxes, the long ones. I put my maps in them straight out. But I know Ollie Gray's got like the ultimate storage system because he makes his own folders out of aircraft material, which he sometimes sells.
Wow.
I think that's the ultimate map storage. If you speak to Oliver Gray and ask him to show you, you'll see the ultimate there. I mean, absolutely, for sure. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Ollie, it just makes me want to say, I think we've got a pretty healthy ASL community here in the UK, and certainly in Scotland as well, because there's at least 4 ASLers in and around Edinburgh. And then you've got Martin Vicker and all the rest up in Aberdeen. And yeah, beyond that, I think there's some new people been getting in touch with Martin. So I think it's alive and well, you know. It's quite good. And as I say, I've been going to the 2 tournaments every year now with Pete and the guys in Blackpool, Bounding Fire and Heroes. I've been missing out on Grenadier, although I've been a couple of times to Grenadier. I feel I should go back sometime, but I seem to have got myself into a routine of going to Blackpool in November, so it's kind of impossible to be 2 places at once, you know. So got to make a choice here, I think.
Are both of those exclusively ASL tournaments, or do they play other games?
Well, we've certainly played other games at Blackpool. I mean, I brought down Car Wars the other year, hoping I'd get a game with Pete, but we never got round to it, unfortunately, because we were just too busy talking and drinking, you know. So that never happened. But yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, a big game I played the other year was Battle for Germany, the old, I think it's Decision Games. I got a remake of that, and I was playing that with Rod and the guys. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I've seen lots of other games played, yeah. Grenadier, as I say, I've only been twice at Max at Tops. I haven't seen so many other games played at Grenadier, but it doesn't mean to say they weren't playing them, you know. Aye. But certainly, I mean, I'd say the tournament scene's alive and well in the UK, for sure. I mean, there's the Double One tournament in London as well, which I've never been to. I know Pete goes all the time. Chelmsford. Yeah. As I say, I know we lost one of the tournaments, but Simon and all that brought back Bounding Fire to Blackpool, so that made up for it. So yeah, I think there's basically free tournaments a year in the UK now, so it's doing well.
I assume during the pandemic you were doing the same kind of lockdown we were doing here. So did you?
Oh yeah, weren't we just? It was not nice. It was not nice. I got sent home from work for 6 months.
Oh, no kidding! 6 months.
Yeah. I got full pay though, so that was okay.
Oh, but, yeah.
No, they said you've got asthma, so go home. It's like, okay. I said, okay. You know, I had to phone the boss every week and say, he says, are you staying put? I said, yeah, I'm still in my house. I've gone nowhere. I'm still staying put. It's like, gee. But yeah, that wasn't fun. I mean, that was
but
not
did you resort to just solo play, or did you get on to Vassal and do some of that?
Vassal. I mean, that seems to be the main way I get my games played these days. I mean, Rod used to come round a lot, and I used to go round to Rod's a lot, but we just seem to have drifted apart. And it saves me tidying up my flat as well. But yeah, we play mostly Vassal. I mean, I need to get another game with John soon, to be honest. The guys have been helpful with me for playtesting, though, I will be honest. Well, I don't want to push it too much. It's like, you know, you play for fun. Playtesting isn't exactly fun.
Yeah.
It's more like a job, you know, so
yeah.
I don't want to push the guys too much in that direction. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say most of the games I play now are Vassal, especially since I've stopped going to the Seswick, the War Games Club. We used to play a lot of games at the War Games Club, but as I say, it just got too much for me. The hour-long trip, the 2 buses. Yeah. I mean, there's some nice people there, and I miss a lot of the people there, but it's just got too much for me, you know.
Vassal really, those guys should get a Nobel Prize for saving gaming, because it was just amazing what it did. But it did have that tendency to offer people an alternative to that hour-long drive, which, and I always wonder if it wasn't for Vassal, would those clubs still be open and more populated for people that would be willing to take that drive, because there was no option otherwise.
I think not only have they saved gaming, they've probably made it more popular and expanded on it. There's probably new people coming to the table now than there would have been otherwise, because they've got the opportunity to play. Yeah. And no one in your local area, that's not a problem. Just talk to people on Vassal and you go, join the club. It's great, yeah. I mean,
you don't even need them. You don't even need to buy maps anymore.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I would never say this, but you don't really need a whole lot more than the rules.
Yeah.
You know, but of course, I'm not saying don't buy anything, just buy the rules, because, you know, I think everybody I know, we all try to support MMP as best we can to keep the hobby alive. So I mean, I just bought Slaughter at Pondry, but I don't think I'm ever going to use it.
Mm.
But I bought it partly to support MMP and partly because there's new counters in it.
Yes.
I was kind of convinced. Russian airborne counters, I thought, okay, I mean, I know we've got counters representing that already, but this has got a little symbol on it, so I'll get that.
And it's still
Yeah.
exciting. It's still exciting to get that box and feel the weight of it, you know,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
unwrapping it
yeah.
and opening it up and seeing the stuff
Oh,
live
yeah. I
instead of
got to admit,
virtual.
the last release from MMP that I was really excited about was, oh, I'm trying to look at it now. Twilight of the Reich.
Oh,
That
okay.
was that was tremendous. That was
Yeah.
spot on for me. I was really interested in that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right up your alley.
Yeah, it's
that
late
was right up
war
my
and
alley.
all. Yeah.
That was a great release. But I mean, there's so much more coming out. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next journal with it's got the scenarios used in the World Board Game Championships. So that's going to be good to see. Another action pack coming, and the historical ASL rulebook. I'm definitely waiting for that. I bought
Mm-hmm.
the PDF from my computer, but I'd really like one from my bookshelf.
Yeah.
Oh, they're putting all those rule sections together in one book.
Oh yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah.
I
I
didn't
mean,
know.
oh
Oh, I'm
yeah. I think
behind.
it's going to be out in about 2 weeks, according to MMP on Facebook. I think it's due out in about 2 weeks. They don't have it up on the site at the moment, but it's coming soon. But I'm just wondering how much it's going to be though, because everything's getting more expensive.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're lucky because we've got a distributor in England, in Liverpool, Second Chance Games, that gets absolutely everything in for ASL. So if you want to get anything, you can get it from them. I mean, I used to get everything from Liam and Black Lion Games here in town. That was great. I could just pop into town and make an order and pick it up a couple of weeks later. But sadly, they couldn't get ASL in anymore for whatever reason. So we all just started going to Second Chance Games, you know. So they seem to have cornered the market now in the country for ASL.
We're going to ring the
But they've
bell
been
for
around
them.
for years.
Second chance games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We ring the bell for good suppliers like that.
And of course,
Taking care of you.
Bounding Fire Productions.
Bounding Fire
Yeah.
Productions, a good
Bounding
sponsor of
Fire
our show.
Productions.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Love those guys. So, you know, whenever we talk to somebody that is not in the continental United States, I always get a little envious, a little bit, because they're closer to actual battlefields and stuff like that. I assume you've done lots of traveling to visit.
Well, I mean, not that much. When I was in the army, I got to go on a trip to Arnhem, which was tremendous. So I've been to most of the Arnhem battlefields, and when we were at Grenadier, me and John Martin drove around the forests, and we went to oh, they released a pack about it. Schmidt. We went to Schmidt, took a
Okay.
photograph by the signs. We went to Schmidt and the Ardennes and all that. So but other than being in places like Venlo and which were part of the war, other than just being there and not such aware of it, being in the towns like Cologne. I mean, I've been next to the cathedral in Cologne where the Panther and the Persian had the shootout. So I've been there, I've been very aware of that, but I wasn't so aware of it at the time because it's only really recently I've read the history of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been to a few places, but not as many as I would like. I mean, I would say probably a lot of Americans in the hobby have been to more places than me, to be honest.
Mm.
Really. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it does take resources and time to be able to do those things. But we do have a picture of you from Istanbul.
Oh yeah,
I was
Istanbul is
just
good.
going through the old mails that we've exchanged. Yeah.
That works. Yeah, Istanbul wasn't my idea to go to Istanbul actually, but it was okay in the end. I wanted to go to Berlin, but as I say, my friend said, "No, we're not going to Berlin. I've been there. It's cold." So that was
Mm.
that. That was that. So Istanbul, yeah, but I mean, that was all new to me. It's the first time I've ever been to anywhere like that. And we took the bus over to the Asian side, and that was tremendous. So we went, yeah, we're in Asia. It's like, okay, that was cool. But yeah, the history of that place was something else. I mean, we did all the historical sites. We made sure we did, you know, and it was just, yeah. I mean, sitting on top of the roof at the hotel, looking out over the sea and looking at the mosques. It was tremendous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful views.
It was expensive though. I
Well,
spent more
yeah.
money than I was hoping to, I'll be honest. But yeah, as I say, it was my friend Andy's 60th birthday. So he said, we're going on holiday to celebrate my birthday. So I said, okay, I'm going. I'll come with you.
Okay.
So yeah, that was that. First thing he did when he got to Istanbul was say, where's the belly dancers? I want belly dancers for my birthday. He got
And
them in the
watch.
end as well.
Been watching too
Yeah.
many movies. Yeah, I remember being in Turkey years ago and going. I think we were in Ephesus, and we had just stopped there for the day on a cruise ship. And I don't know what the actual price was at the time, but as the women were going into the ladies' room, there was somebody there selling tissue for the need of the ladies, and it was like 200,000 lira,
Jeez.
which I guess was probably, I don't know, 20 cents or something like that. But just it was such a shock getting used to the using the money there. Everything seemed expensive. 200,000 lira
I know,
for three pieces of tissue paper.
It's like when we were buying a meal, it was like, how much? It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, if you're in Ephesus, you must have seen the Greek temples. That'd be amazing.
Yes, yeah, it was absolutely jaw-dropping. I've actually been there twice.
Cool.
Somehow I was on two different cruises and they overlapped there, which was
That's brilliant.
yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
The place is in ruins though.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's a joke. Needs a coat of paint. Anyway, back to you and ASL. So
Yeah.
do you get when you go to the tournaments, are there a lot I assume there's a lot of other guys when you do go to those tournaments, a lot of other European players there. Have you
European, American, you name it. People from
Yeah.
all over the world.
Yeah. Is
I
there
mean,
ever a
yeah.
you ever have a language issue? I've never really thought about that. But if you got the guys from
I
Italy
did in
playing,
Germany, to be fair, with some people, but not much.
yeah.
Not much. But I mean, that was more when we were out and about than anything else. Not so much the tournament players, they all
Hmm.
spoke English.
Oh,
But
I see.
certainly, but I mean, I spent that long in Germany. I should really speak the language, but I just don't have the brain for languages. I just can't get them.
Mm.
So I don't speak German at all. A
Yeah.
couple of words here and there, and that's it. But I mean, it's a great country, and I wish I spoke the language, but I just don't. I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have it either.
Not for TG Gungaswaffen.
I
Oh,
gross
that's-
like beer, but
Very good. Very good.
We did play test your one scenario.
oh yeah,
It had the
did, didn't you? I remember that.
carriers,
Thanks for that.
Carriers in it. Yeah.
Vicious in Vlerden. That's not a top
Yeah,
secret
that's the one
one.
that Pete's going to publish. Pete's got that at the moment, and I'm hoping it's going to be in the next View from the Trenches, but you can't guarantee it. It just depends what Pete's got on. So I'm hoping. But as I say, yeah, that's in Pete's hands at the moment. So at one point it's going to appear, so that's good.
Well, maybe the
But as
two
I say,
half
I mean-
squads, we can exert a little of our celebrity pressure on
You can,
Pete.
you can.
Come on,
For
Pete.
what it's worth, I emailed Pete this morning. I said, the two half squads are calling tonight. You want to come on board? But I've not heard from him yet because he's
Yeah.
at work. So, But I mean, I'm hoping he will one day.
Yeah, we'd like to someday for sure.
Yeah.
He's a tremendous guy. I mean, he's a real character. He's really charismatic. He's got a lot to say, a lot to talk about. He's done a lot. He's been there. He's seen it. He's basically the hub. I would say he's the hub of the UK scene because he used to run all three tournaments in the UK. Now he's only running one, just at Heroes, but he used to run all three. I mean, and he runs the magazine. He's basically the hub that everyone revolves around. He's a great guy. I mean, I got to know him probably about 10 years ago when he moved down from the West Coast to Edinburgh. So I've been talking to him on the computer for years, but the first time I really met him was when he came down to live around here, So that was good. But yeah, as I say, there's a core group of us here in Edinburgh that all hang out, and we get to the pub at least once a month. Although we haven't been this month yet because we called it off because it's in the middle of the festival and the Oasis gigs were on. So the place is totally rammed at the moment in Edinburgh.
Mm.
I mean, the last Oasis gig was on Tuesday, so most of the Oasis fans are going home now. But I mean, the population of the city's at least doubled with all the people coming in. So yeah.
So the guys you meet with or the guys you play with, are any of those military guys or what?
Well, John Martin, he's an ex-armored engineer.
Oh,
He
okay.
served in Northern Ireland and all sorts.
Yeah.
All these ex-RAF, Oliver Gray.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few guys. I mean, Pete himself, he was in the Royal Engineers very briefly.
Oh,
He
okay.
signed up, but I think he left during basic training because he basically said authority and me don't really get on together.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, he's not
Pete
the
with his
first
long
one.
hair, but no, Pete was in the Royal Engineers, and you only have to serve a day to be a veteran. So Pete's a veteran too.
Oh, you only have to
Yeah,
serve a day. Wow.
yeah. That's the new rule. You only have to serve a day to be a veteran. Although, as I say, most people don't really, agree with that. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah,
And
but I
back
mean, I think
to
there's a lot of people in the scene. Oh, who am I thinking of? Trying to get names here. Oh, not getting the name. I'm looking for a name.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
think, man, think.
I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I,
no,
I,
no,
I,
no.
I have a friend
There's
who
quite a few.
my other friend always
There's,
says, come on, brain. Come on, brain.
yeah, there's quite a few ex-army people in the UK and the ASL scene. I mean, Paul Case, for example, he comes to the tournaments. He's a great guy. He's ex-Royal Artillery, so you know he's another ex-military. And I just can't get the name of the chap I'm thinking of as an ex-officer. Oh, good friend
Oh,
of Pete's. Pete will tell me. I've not
Yeah.
seen him for a while, so name's gone out of my head. But certainly plenty of people. Yeah, plenty of people. But I mean, I think it just appeals to them as much as anything else.
Yeah. Now, as long as you've been playing, I'm
Yeah.
wondering if you've come up with pieces of ASL that you just don't like. Are there rules and certain rules or
Oh
certain,
yeah.
yeah,
I
things like
mean,
that that you
I'll be
just,
honest. I mean, as everyone will tell you, my rules knowledge is terrible. I've read the rule book umpteen times, and I'm
mhm.
constantly watching well, okay, I've been a bit lazy recently. I haven't been constantly watching the tutorials on YouTube for
Mm,
quite a while, but I need to get back to that. I mean, yeah, as everyone will say, I tend to look up the rules more than anything else. My rules knowledge is pretty poor. I mean, people like John Martin, they know it off by heart, and they can just go, there you go, But
yeah.
but I can't. But certainly, the one thing that annoys me about the game is Don Greenwood, I think, set out specifically to write an overly complex game because I think he felt that the competition at the time was setting out to be simple and quick, fast playing. So he set to stand out. He went the opposite way. And I think that's what the case was. And I think in many ways it was unnecessary. They could have cut a lot of the stuff out and left a lot out, but they didn't. So it is what it is. But
Yeah.
certainly, I've never played Cave Rules. Never played Cave Rules. I've never played PTO yet, to be honest. I've watched a
Oh,
couple of games of it.
no
It looks
Japanese
good.
even?
No Japanese. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never played it. Although John and Rod were playing a Japanese American scenario last week on Vassal. So I tuned into that, and that was quite good. But I mean, Pete says the Japanese are fun. He says banzai. He's like,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I mean, I learned the glider assault rules. I thought they were pretty good. I quite enjoyed learning them, but I haven't played them for a while. But I mean, certainly things like the rule for when you've got multiple vehicles in a hex and you shoot into that hex and you miss the vehicle you were aiming at and you have to try and see if you hit one of the other vehicles. I think that's really complicated and just burns my brain. I just can't do it. That annoys me. That's not a great rule, I don't think. Things like that. It's just I mean, other game systems don't have anything like that. But at the same time, ASL keeps pulling me back because it's so comprehensive. It offers you everything you could want and more. I
Yeah.
mean, any battle, any theatre, Finland, Pacific, anything, it's got it all.
Yeah, the
I mean,
weapon systems, it's
oh
just
yeah, everything.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. But as I say, at the moment, in games wise, I've just basically tried to narrow everything down to playing the odd game of D&D with Magnus down in Wales on the computer. And basically, other than that, maybe get a game of Battle Group, I think the miniature rules are they're using now, with my miniatures sometime in ASL, and that's really it. I don't really have the space to keep other games, to be honest, so I'm getting rid of them. As I
Yeah.
say,
Or time. Yeah.
yeah,
Play them all.
who's got the time? Well, I must admit, it's just, I find a lot of the time when I've got my free time, a lot of it's I spend getting over the shift work, trying to rest up and feel a bit better from being on night shift and so on, So I'll lose at least a day of my days off just by sleeping, So that's not particularly easy, but it's what it is. So
Yep.
they pay me, so I'm not going to complain.
Well, looks like it's been about 45 minutes or so of a good interview. Is there anything else we should cover?
Wonder. Well, what about your plans, guys? What are your plans for the game in the near future and so on?
Well, Dave Timonen and I, as I often mention, I need to do some updates with what we've been playing because he keeps me going every Tuesday.
That's cool.
And yeah, so actually I had just looked at we just broke out the LFT, it's laying around here somewhere, deluxe pack. I don't know if you remember that one or got that one.
Yeah.
So we've been playing through those, which is a big change of pace from you probably
Star
heard me
projections.
talking a lot about the Festung Budapest.
Oh yeah.
So if Dave and I are playing that and we talk for quite a while just personally while we're playing, we might just get in like a turn or two on their bigger maps, a lot of counters. And now we switch to the deluxe, and it's funny. The one thing he's looking at the board going, hey, that's a lot of open ground to cover. And I said, Dave, it's 2 hexes. But on deluxe, it looks like a lot of open ground.
Oh yeah. I very recently got a copy of Deluxe, but again, I've never played it. They had a very good deal on it, Second Chance Games. They had a big discount on Deluxe, so I was like, now's the time to buy it.
Yep. So yeah, so we're doing that, and then Jeff and I game every Wednesday with Mike Rizzi and Chris Walters, and we're doing a Stargrave miniature science fiction game.
Okay.
Which I started us on Frostgrave.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard
the fantasy. Yeah, and I got that because it's kind of like D&D, but you don't have a DM, so everyone has a little wizard warband, and you get to go running around. Yeah, and so when Dave and I finish with the deluxe LFT pack, we're gonna jump into Mannerheim Cross by Bounding Fire.
Okay, that's a biggie.
Yeah,
Dave, I know some of the guys picked it up. Ollie picked a copy up, and he said it's big.
It's got a lot. Yeah, Dave the other night was asking me like, so if we're okay, we got about 5 of these deluxe left to play at two nights a scenario. That'll be about 10 weeks or so. And then he's like, so then we can jump into the finish one from Bounding Fire. I'm like, yeah, for sure. And he says, so how many scenarios are there? I said, I think 30 or something.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
Maybe
something
even more
like that.
Yeah. I said, he's like, what? I said, yeah, I tend to try and play all of the scenarios in a pack.
Yeah, you guys always have though, haven't you? You've always tried to work through them all.
That's what I do. Yeah. But you don't really have to. In fact, I found on the deluxe LFT, we turned over a scenario card, having finished that one. Go, what's next? And I said, oh, look, I played this one with Jeff back when the deluxe came out. Cause I write down like who won and who I played against on the bottom of the cards. So I was like, oh, I played that one with Jeff. And then we got to a 3-player one. Yeah. And then I noted, oh, looks like I played that with Mark Woods and Jeff and me at some point. I think we did it at an ASL Open or something. Remember?
Yes,
3 of us
at the ASL Open.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I've been doing, and Jeff and I've been doing on Wednesdays. And
yeah, I think a lot of guys have kept a record of how many games they've played. I never did. I wish I did.
Yeah, never.
A lot of guys have.
I'm 14,000 and something.
Oh.
Yeah, for real. I'm really glad I started writing it down. It doesn't take long, after you play.
True,
but maybe I'll put a picture up of that. So,
well, that's it. That's indicative of an ASL player where there's that attention to detail, and so to write down everyone
who won.
But I can tell, Alan, you and I are similar. Like I haven't been playing that much, but I've been going back and reading through old journals and things like that. And I always pick up the tips and tricks and
Mm.
stuff like that. And I think, oh yeah, I didn't know that. And I didn't know that. And I forgot about that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's the thing.
So
There's so much to learn.
there's so much. I admire
There's so
these
much
guys
to
that
learn.
can just spew it out. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So should we wrap it up
So-
then now?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well,
Alright.
thank you for your time, guys.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you for
Alan. Really.
coming in. And
Yeah.
No, it's been a pleasure to speak to you both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really nice. So I
I'm
hope
just
we
sorry
can.
the camera didn't work.
that's okay.
Yeah. It's been really great visiting with you, Alan. Hope we can do it again
Thanks.
soon. And I hope you stay well and keep playing.
Yep.
And keep
Thanks,
writing.
guys, and you.
Always enjoy hearing from you.
So until then, remember to roll low,
And
And rally well.
That's
but
right.
not when you're playing us.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ta-ta. Bye, Alan.